Ciao Bella, welcome to Bella Uncinetto. I'm Christina and I'm so glad that you're here with me today. If you're new, welcome in. If you're returning, welcome back. No matter how long you've been here, I always appreciate your time. The camera will steady out in just a moment. I'm holding it currently so that I could give you a full view of the hook case. I did a video on a Berlin yarn shop that I went to over my winter break with my children. And I picked up this Lana Grossa hook set as a Christmas present to myself. So I am going to do a hook review today on these, but I wanted to show you the case as it was closed, and then I'm going to pause the video, open it, and then get my yarn out to do the hook review. All right, I'll be right back, guys. Okay, I am back. I'm still holding the camera a little bit, although I'm not holding it up, because I just wanted to kind of do a slow pan of the hooks. I do have my chosen hook. It's the 4mm. We'll get to that in just a minute. But to kind of show you all of the hooks here, I did talk about it a little bit in the video for the yarn shop. But it starts with a 2mm and then goes all the way to a 12mm hook, which is down here at the end. So the 2 is here, and then it goes through the various sizes all the way up to a 12mm. I do like that it has a 7mm and a 9mm because those are ones that I use, especially the 7mm, because I crochet really, really tightly. And if I'm using a chunky yarn, sometimes I have to go down in hook sizes because I seem to not make sense with chunky yarn and bigger hooks. It tends to get all crazy, so if I go down some hook sizes, I tend to meet gauge, and 7mm is usually where I end up with the chunky yarn. Alright, so I'm going to pause again so I don't make you sick. And but I wanted you to see again the nice colors of the wooden handles and things like that. They are aluminum hook heads. So I'll be right back, you guys. Okay, we are back. I have the 4mm hook here, or not 4mm, 5mm hook. I don't know if you can see that. It is kind of in a silvery, right there, 5mm hook. Nope, it's still blurry. There we go. And then this is just some scrap yarn that I got. Someone sent me a while back. I've used some of it. Someone sent this to me in Happy Mail. Coping with Yarn, I believe it was. And I used some of it to make a hat. And then I haven't used any more of it since. So it just sits in it just sat in my scrap bin. So I'm going to make my slip knot. I'm trying really hard not to hit the camera. I don't know what is going on with my brain today, but I cannot seem to make the camera sit the way that I want it to. So we're just gonna hope for the best. Because I almost kind of have to reach around or be tilted weird. I can't get the camera to work the way I want it to today. But that's alright. Trying to make sure that I have enough light and you guys can see me. That's what matters. Okay, so we're just gonna chain, and I don't even know what yarn this is, so I can't tell you anything about the yarn, so we're just reviewing the hook today. And I did put a link in my description box of the Berlin yarn video, yarn shop video, of the hooks, so I will put that in this as well. I am not sponsored by Lana Grossa for sure, but if you're interested in getting them, like I said, the hook set was not a cheap purchase. I mean, it's a full hook set, so it's not going to be cheap, but it was a Christmas present to myself, so I did not feel bad in using my Christmas money to buy something that I wanted. All right, this yarn is feeling a little splitty, so I may get a different yarn because I truly want to give the hook a chance here. So I may change yarns and get like a cotton or something that I know will work well, but we're gonna give it a try and see how it goes. So I just did a basic chain. I don't even know how many I chained. And then I'm just doing half double crochet down the chain. See how it works. So I hope everyone is doing well. I hope that you are enjoying your day or night, whenever it is that you're watching this. It is the weekend for me, so I am trying to film and get things done so that I can, oh, no, the yarn split, so that I can have things ready for you guys for the week. And I have my laundry going. I have things ready. Later on today, I will start my meal prep for the week. That's one of the ways that I get through the week, is my weekends are filled with shopping and cleaning and all of that adulting stuff. But then I also will, depending on what the meal is, I will either cook the whole meal, like if it's something in the crock pot or something like a casserole or something, I'll prepare it ahead of time so that all I have to do is heat it up if it's from the crock pot, right? Or if it's something that I can throw in the crock pot that morning before I go to work, and then it'll be ready when I get home. Or casserole, right, that I can just take out and put in the oven for a little bit. Sometimes I'll just, excuse me, sorry. Sometimes I will just do the meat, like let's say we want to have tacos or something. I will prepare the meat ahead of time, because then all I have to do is put things together, you know, and I don't have to worry about so many things all at once trying to cook everything when I get home, because I'm tired and I don't want to. Okay. So I am trying. This yarn is not wanting to be my friend, but that's okay. So far I don't have any problems with I'm going to do half double crochets again just to see if it was the chain or the yarn that's splitty, because this is a worsted weight yarn, so a 5mm should be fine. I'm not having any problems with the hook gliding. It doesn't have a super pointy tip to like cut through the yarn, so it's not really the hook that's splitting the yarn. I think it's just the construction of the yarn that's making the yarn so splitty. But it is also my camera angle that is making me, because this hand is like right up against the camera, so I'm trying really hard not to hit the camera so it doesn't go flying or make a crazy turn or something like that. So we'll see if I can. But so far, I mean, it looks nice. The color of the yarn is, I hope you can see. I'm trying to get it. Alright, I'm going to try a little bit more. I will say that keeping my grip on the hook is a little hard. My fingers are sliding down slightly on the handle of the hook a little bit. It does not have, it's wood. I mean, I don't know that it's actual wood maybe, but it said it was, but we'll see. I'm not going to cut it open to find out. But it is really kind of slippery for my hands. It's not like the plastic or rubbery sort of grip that I can like press into and hold. So I could see like maybe over time where that would oh, that yarn just split all the way. I can see where maybe that would make it a little bit difficult to nope. Again, let's try that sentence again. Where it would make it difficult for a larger project. It's not going through both of those because it is, there we go. It would be painful, is my point. For me, I think it would be painful over time. All right, I'm going to get out a cotton and see if that changes things. Cut me here. Is that going to be too hard to see? No. Okay. Let's try the cotton. Because this yarn is very, I mean, it's nice. The stitch definition is nice. But it was very difficult with the splitting. So let's see if the cotton, do I have something to put this in so it doesn't roll? Oh well, just put it back there and hope it doesn't fly off the desk. Okay. So we'll see if the cotton makes any difference. I made that too tight, didn't I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, so we'll just start there. And then let's just do the top loop instead of the back bump this time. So I was going through the back bump too, so it makes, I like going through the back bump, honestly. It makes for a neater, I know that's not part of it, but it makes for a neater bottom edge, right? It looks more like an actual crochet stitch on the bottom edge, so it's easier if you're doing like a border or something. But again, this isn't a yarn review, it's a hook review. I'm not finding as many problems with the cotton splitting, although I am struggling just a little bit with the grip on the hook. And I say I wasn't having trouble with it splitting, and then it split on me. So let's see. Oops. I'm going to try double crochet. See how that works. I am getting a little bit of resistance. I don't know if you can hear the popping or pulling on the yarn. I think that's just from the cotton itself. But I'm not having any trouble like getting it to go in or anything like that. Oh, that is not comfortable. Okay, so here, when I tried to make that stitch, this part is scratching up against my finger, which was not comfortable. So, would almost want to have the yarn there as like a barrier for that to not happen. And I'd have to hold the hook down a little bit farther. So I have to hold it down here instead of up here where I like to hold it. Okay, well, that's frustrating. Nope, it split. Okay. Let's see. Get it in there. Alright, so there's a half double and double with the cotton. And then here's with this one. Okay, I'm going to try, let me see if I can find an acrylic or something that is not so splitty. Let's see, what do I have that I can just easily grab? Trying to see what I have. What happens when you put away all your yarn and then you can't find anything to just grab because you put it all away. Trying to see. Okay, I don't think this is the same construction. It's a mess though. Can I find an end? See if I can easily find an end to this yarn. Maybe it's making a bigger mess than I planned on making. Okay, let's see if I can. I want to try it with different kinds of yarn. I want to give it a fighting chance. But I'm not finding. Oh, okay. Hold on. I'm almost there, guys. This is a different construction. This is like a twisted yarn, where the other one was like a chainette. So maybe that's the other acrylic. This one is more of a chainette. This one is spun, but it's not as tightly spun as this one. So let's see. That's going to be a problem if I try to get to. We'll see if this yarn makes a difference. I definitely do not like that it was scratching my finger like that. I would probably need to get some sort of, like, especially if I was going to use it in like a blanket or a big project, a sweater or something. I would want to, I'd have to get some kind of grip or something to cover that up because that would be painful. Alright, so this is the yarn I'm going to use this time. I don't know what it is. It's an acrylic yarn. I know that because it was in my acrylic drawer. But I use this in part of a blanket. And then it's just sitting in my acrylic drawer because I don't have the label anymore, but I have the yarn. So let's see what it does with this one. All right. One, two. Oh, no. Okay, we got to start over. That was too tight. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Doing it with the tail. That doesn't make any sense, Christina. Put that over there. You guys, I was running out of yarn. No, that was funny. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Oh my goodness, that was hilarious. Okay, let's do some half doubles. Okay, this is definitely smoother. I'm really trying not to hit the camera, you guys. So it feels a little bit awkward for me. And also, one of the things that I know that some people mention this when they're doing tutorials. One of the things when you're crocheting is you hold it close to your body. So I would almost need like a GoPro camera to like attach to my body to not feel so awkward when I am doing a tutorial or a hook review or something like that, because you hold, well, I do anyway, like I hold, you can't see it, but I hold my crochet really close to me, and then having to hold it way out here and try to make the same movements, it's not as comfortable. So anyone who is doing a hook review or a tutorial of any sort, even if they have practice with it, even if there's someone who does a lot of tutorials on their channel, a lot of hook reviews, anything like that where they um, have their crochet under the camera, it is more difficult to crochet like that than you realize. Okay? Um, so sometimes if they're out of frame a little bit, or if they are um, off here or something like that, it just trying to adjust to having their hands. And a lot of times I'm looking at what I'm doing and I'm not looking at the camera. Like, because I can see on my computer screen, if I look over, I can see my hands working, but sometimes I don't know if they're in frame or not. So I'm trying to watch what I'm actually making and not watch where my hands are in the frame. So sometimes that's a little difficult as well, just so you're aware. Yeah, I don't like that scratching on my finger. So I definitely have to hold the handle farther away from my, so that it doesn't scratch my finger when I pull back. Which is also difficult for me because I am usually right up here. And by being right up here, I am going to scratch on this this is not, like, if you can see it, I'm trying to get it there. So this part, it's not sanded down at all. It's kind of harsh on your finger. So I did half double, I did double, let's do single. Now that I have a little bit of height to hold on to. Because I don't like being able to trying to do the single crochet at the beginning and then you have nothing to hold on to, especially with a hook. That's going to be a little painful. I'm finding this yarn much easier to work with than the other two. It's not splitting nearly as much. I'm not struggling to get it in to the, and it's a 4 weight, the same as this one. They're both 4 weights, right? Which this one's a little bit, this is a chainette construction 4 weight, and then this is just a twisted 4 weight, so that it looks a little bit bigger, but it's also been sitting in my drawer, so it's a little bit fluffier than it probably was when I first got it. But it is definitely easier to use for the hook itself. I'm not finding it. I'm not struggling as much. I'm not feeling, with the cotton, I had that weird like popping, pulling feeling. Just as I say, I'm not struggling. There I go. But this is much more pleasant than the other two yarns were. So that just goes to show you that hooks and yarn really do matter with what you're doing. So if the hook is not working, pick a different hook. If the yarn is not working, try a different yarn. Right? Try something different until you can get it to work. So, we'll look at all of these, right? All in all, I mean, the hook does well. It doesn't get stuck. Like, even on the cotton, it didn't really get stuck on the yarn. It did make kind of like not a squeaking, but like a popping kind of feel when I was working it with the cotton. With the chainette, it split this chainette a lot. This was frustrating. This would probably be my most frustrating with the hook. And then just a basic acrylic was the easiest to work with this hook. Again, the head of the hook is not very pointy. I mean, there is a point to it, but that's not what was splitting the yarn. Maybe this end of the hook, right? Maybe this was where it was catching and splitting, although that's not really very sharp. I think the sharpest part of the hook, honestly, is this edge here, where it's super uncomfortable on my finger and scratching my finger quite a bit. Would this be my first choice in a project? No. I'm probably still going to reach for my clover or my tulip, my clover Amore or my tulip Etimo hooks over this, just mainly because of the grip. I mean, I could put something on this, maybe even sand it down some so it doesn't hurt as much, but this is very, very slick. So I would still have to put some sort of like rubber grip on it to help hold the hook and not feel like it's going to slip out of my hand. It's very pretty. It works well, especially with acrylic yarn, for me anyway. And I would recommend this if you don't need a grip. Like if you don't, I mean, I don't need the grip, but I've become accustomed to it. And so now when I don't have it, it does feel a little bit uncomfortable. So if you don't need it or you feel like it's not necessary, then definitely these hooks would be good for you. I would still recommend, I'm going to have to try to find something to do with this edge part because that is painful. I mean, even if I put a rubber grip on it, it would get rid of it, but then I'd be worried that it would take away some of the part of the shaft of the hook um, to make my stitches. So I don't know. All in all, I would probably give it out of 10. I'm going to be generous and say a 5 out of 10 because, I mean, it glides really well. I don't have a problem with that. This is painful. This would be frustrating for me. This would make me not want to pick it up. Um, but as far as going through the yarns, knowing now, right, that the acrylic would work best, that's why I would give it a 5. Um, if it worked with multiple yarns, a little bit easier. And maybe that'll change once I get a grip for it. Maybe I'll come back and update you guys if I get a grip for it, and maybe that'll change my mind. But that's all I have for now. Thank you guys so much for sticking it out with me. And as always, be well, be safe, and be the change you wish to see in the world. Ciao, Bella!